friends, welcome back to Chandam. I'm your friend Shamali, and with me I have my friend Himani. And if you are wondering what we are going to talk about, then well, Himani, we are going to talk about bird communication. Um, so, to start off with growing urbanization, how has bird communication changed or evolved?
So, as we all know that due to rapid urbanization, the wild and the human is coexisting, right? So right now you can see we are sitting right in front of a wetland and with the beautiful sun which is about to set, and there are a lot of vehicles also which are passing by. So, birds have a technique called mimicry which they use to communicate, and they always mimic their surroundings, whether it's forest birds, dogs, or pigs, other animals. So when they are around human vicinity, they start mimicking traffic noise, children playing, child's voice. So that is how urbanization is definitely putting an impact on their communication patterns. It's changing.
Okay. Himani, as a small child, I had a pet parrot. Alright. And the parrot used to mimic all of us in the house. So, do you think this was another way of communication?
Yes, mimicry, as I told earlier, that mimicry is also one of the modes of communication when it comes to birds. So parrots also like other birds, they always mimic their environment, and when they are caged, they only have us humans to mimic.
Yes.
So when a parrot says, suppose you are entering inside a room, and the parrot says that good morning, hi. So that doesn't mean that the parrot understands those words, but it associates with a person's entrance in the room.
Right, right.
So that is how their brain, whatever you can call it, is conditioned. They develop these techniques themselves, so that is their way of acknowledging a human and trying to communicate with them.
Okay. You have yourself made a documentary on the flamingos of Navi Mumbai, and I wanted you to tell the viewers that what is that one key takeaway, that you took away with you while you were making this documentary.
So first of all, when I was making this documentary, I realized what different forms of communication flamingos use. So when the flamingos are in the air, when they are about to land or take off, they make this honk kind of sound in a group.
Okay.
And and when they are on the water or when they are roosting, that's when their honk sound becomes softer. So
Okay.
that's a difference, and they use this thing called contact call to communicate with other flamingos to indicate them that I am here and there's food here, so you can come here and forage here. So that was really amazing to know. As a human, you cannot differentiate that, but that is what my research and when I talked to other scientists, they told me. And also, when they do the courtship dance, they bob their heads left and right, and they again make that honk sound. So that is a way of attracting. There's competition between the males,
Okay.
and it's a way of attracting the female, so that they can go back to their breeding place in Gujarat, and they can breed. So
Okay. Now, since you've mentioned about this courtship, I know that there are a few other birds also which have different ways, and I think that's where the non-verbal communication, comes in. So, if you could talk about a little bit about how they are using different forms of communication for courtship.
So birds are like the kings of courtship. They have various non-verbal forms of communication. Also, the best one is displaying their feathers. Everyone knows
peacock.
peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of birds have different kind of colors to their plumage, and they span it like in a very big wingspan. So they want to show off that I'm here. I'm the biggest and the strongest
And the
male
best.
bird. Yeah, I'm the best male bird. So displaying feathers, and that is one. The second one would be doing like dance routines. So there's a film on Netflix called Dancing with the Birds. There you will find
Yeah, you must watch that.
you will find lots of different kinds of birds and how they use different dance routines to attract a female. And some some birds use gift giving and as a mode of like,
Is it?
yeah. So here the gift would be a prey, giving them a fish or something
Okay.
to show them that I can I can forage for food
Yeah.
and
Take
give it
care
to
of
the
you.
chicks,
Right.
you and the chicks.
And the chicks.
So
Okay.
that is also one way of trying to do the courtship. That's also courtship ritual. And the other one would be the mimicry thing. So even in that film itself, it's not a non-verbal cue, but in that film also it was shown that McGregor bower bird, they use vocals like they use different ranges of vocals, and their calls have lot of complex complex amplitudes and modulations between each species of bird. And some birds also use nest building as a way of showing that we can provide you a good home, the best home. So,
Yeah.
these are some of the forms and how birds do the courtship.
Right. Right. So, Himani, I think one other question that I really want to ask you is that what can we human beings learn about communication from the birds?
Oh wow, so that's a very interesting and unique question because not everyone ponders about it. But the one way that we humans can learn from bird communication is this aspect of social learning.
Mm-hmm.
So when a chick is hatched and they are in the nest, the parents they mimic the calls of their parents. They hear and observe how their parents are calling each other, right? So that is how they start learning, and slowly when they start flying they learn it from other birds. So similarly in our in our world also, human world also, children learn from their social environment and other adults. So that's very important, that how the dynamics of social learning, when a lot of people are teaching, you can that we can learn that what
Right.
parents can focus on their kids.
Yes.
So, and the second thing would be adaptability. So as I told before, that all the birds have different modulations and different amplitude of sounds, different types of sound to show that I'm present here, or different kind of sounds to show the territory, different voice for attracting females or mates, different voice for calling their chicks and foraging food. So everything is different. So that's how in us humans also we learn that we set our tone according to the person in front of us.
Right.
For example, if there's a kid, we'll be like, oh, gucci 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 goo. And if there's a
Yeah.
person, if you're in an office environment, you'll be more serious in
And
your
formal.
tone, formal. And so with your elders you might be a little softer and empathetic. So that's how we should learn that how according to a situation and person in front of us should we adapt our communication to make it more clear and impactful.
Right.
So it's not always about what you say, it's about how you say. So that's
Yeah.
what we learn from birds.
Right. Well, with the setting sun and a new year round the horizon, I'm sure that this conversation that I had with Himani has set the trend for certain very important things about communication. Things that we can learn from nature and we can learn from the birds. Empathy being one of them, and adaptability being the other. Therefore, Kim Chandam wishes you a very happy 2025 where we communicate well and we are one with our nature. Thank you, Himani.
Thank you.